Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. My name is Saimah and welcome to Saimah's Experience. First and foremost, I have to wish all of you guys a very happy New Year's. I hope you guys all had such an amazing holiday season and a great start to the year. It has been a wild few years, and I just have to say thank you so much for everyone who has participated in this community. You guys always show me so much support, and I think it's just really cool what we've created here. I would not have this community if it wasn't for all of you always chiming in and sharing your resources and your knowledge. And I will continue to do my very best that I possibly can to always share with you guys my experiences as a Turo host. I've been doing this now for almost 7 years. I've hosted thousands of trips, and you know what? There's always something new going on, and it never gets boring. There's never a dull moment. So just a huge thank you to the entire community on this channel. You guys have been phenomenal, and I would not be here if it wasn't for you guys, and you guys really keep me motivated to keep going and continue to spread that knowledge and just my experiences. So if you ever have any questions about the Turo business, definitely always drop a comment in the comment section below. Shoot me out some topics, and I do read through all of the comments, and I will definitely continue to make content on some of that stuff. Now, it is a new year, and one of the most popular comments that I often get in the comment section is, hey, isn't Turo over? Turo is so done, I'm out, or it's too saturated. And so that is the subject matter for today. Is Turo over? As we head into 2022, and coming from somebody who's done this for so many years, and not only that, I am extremely lucky and grateful that I get to work with literally hundreds of Turo hosts on a daily basis, whether it's here on the channel or in my private community on powerhost.club. I get to kind of keep a pulse on how things are going, not only for myself, but for other hosts in every different market that you can possibly think of. Now, I think that there's probably three main reasons that I can think of and foresee that if these things impact you, then in a sense, Turo is kind of over and maybe you shouldn't get involved in the marketplace. Now, if this, the C word that I shall not say, remains an issue, then it can definitely create a market that is not stable. It's something that we saw a lot of, and it was quite severe in 2020, of course, because it was so new and it had such an impact on pretty much every industry, every business, every market, and in everyone's lives, one way or another. But luckily and thankfully, we made it through 2021, and 2022 was a much better year. It was still up and down, and it wasn't as consistent as it was prior to 2020 and all the years before that, but it did definitely improve. Now, the thing is, this is going to continue to be a thing in our daily lives. Maybe after what's currently going on right now, this sort of wave that we're experiencing, maybe things die down, maybe it's the end, maybe it's not. It's just really hard to say, right? But sometimes when you have sort of these massive peak in cases, you can directly feel the impacts on your business as a Turo host. I myself personally have seen cancellations because of it in this holiday season. Luckily, there's still enough people who I think at this point are desensitized enough and they've taken all the precautions to where they're still comfortable moving about. But it will continue to impact us, I think, at least in the first couple months of this year. After that, it might be smooth sailing. That's what we can hope for. So if you're comfortable with the current conditions of this, then you can definitely get involved. But if it proves to be a little bit too discomforting for you, then I would say you might want to sit out on the market, because it does involve having interactions with your guests and dealing with cars that people have been in and people traveling in and out of your market. So you will encounter that. Now, another factor why you shouldn't get involved in Turo is if you don't have enough patience and kind of like the ability to research the market to get the right price for a car that you're going to list in the Turo marketplace. Now, the thing is, the fact still remains that car prices are still very high. Used car prices are still inflated, and a lot of cars are still marked up from their MSRP. And the the way that Turo works is that there is actually a right price for a vehicle that you need to get in order for it to make sense to list on the marketplace. Why is that? It's because every car in every market will yield a certain day rate, right? And there's always that range in that day rate. There's a high and a low. There is a max that somebody is willing to pay, and there is a low that somebody is willing to take depending on how the market is. Now, if you get a car that is overpriced and that payment on that vehicle is way too high to where even if you got the bookings and you got the maximum day rate, it doesn't cover that expense or it doesn't cover your time or there's not enough margins in it, then it's not going to make sense for you to be on the platform and list these cars. So you really have to have a lot of patience in this day and age to really research the car market and find a vehicle at the right price that makes sense for the marketplace. So if you don't think that you have the time and the patience to do that due diligence of research and, kind of wheeling and dealing to get the right price on a car, that I would say is probably the number one reason why you shouldn't do Turo, because it is going to really put you in a position where you have a lot of financial risk and liability, and you just don't want to do that, right? There's better things that you can do with your time. So those are probably the main things that I would say is if, what's currently going on with this is still an issue that is going to create some instability in the market. Car prices are high, used car prices are really inflated, and you really need to have that patience. So if you don't kind of jive in a sense with these elements, it can make it very, very tough. But is Turo over in 2022? I think absolutely not. If you can sort of combat some of these things that are going on in the market, I think it's a great time to join in. Now, just from my direct experience on a daily basis of talking to hosts and onboarding people onto the Turo marketplace, it's crazy that I've noticed lately there has been a huge interest in the Turo marketplace. Like, it seems to be surging once again. And I think that there's just a lot of factors that play into that. It's been a rough couple of years for almost everybody, even for me, with business being up and down and just so many changes in the pace of life and lifestyle due to everything that's happened. I think people are really starting to realize that maybe they're not fulfilled in maybe the jobs that they have, or they're realizing that, hey, times are really changing. This world that we're living in is really changing, and the rate at which change is occurring is faster than we've ever seen it, right? And we can attribute technology to that. We can attribute the fact that people kind of become complacent, so you don't continue to educate yourself and improve your skill sets, so you kind of get left behind. And I think people have really sort of woken up to that in the last couple of years, and now people are starting to realize, hey, you know what? I need to have maybe an additional income stream. Maybe I need to be smarter about the resources, like the car is sitting on my driveway that I once used to use to commute to work, and have that make money for me. So I think with all of those factors, it's driving a lot of interest in Turo. And that makes me really excited, right? Because once you're in a marketplace like Turo, you really do feel like you're a part of this community. You're a part of this club in a sense. And it's cool to see it grow and to see it thrive and to see so much interest in a community that you're a part of. So I think that, what I'm noticing now, why I think 2022 is a good year to get involved, is because I see some of my fellow hosts who are growing their fleets, but not only are they growing their fleets, their margins are increasing, which is the most important thing, right? I see more and more people adding more cars to their fleet. I see them figuring out how to provide a great experience, which then in turn is really resulting in Turo businesses that are doing really well, that people are excited about, where people are leaving great reviews. So these little factors that I'm noticing, I can tell it's making a huge difference, and it's really attracting a lot of interest. So what I see happening is my host friends, they tell other friends about Turo, and then their friends go and get cars and they get onto the platform. So that word of mouth is really spreading. And especially as a host, when you're doing well and you have those margins and that profitability, it's encouraging for other people to really get started on the platform. But of course, the caveat being that you have to do it right from the get-go. You don't want to make the mistakes that so many of us hosts have already made. So what does that mean? You got to educate yourself. You really, really have to educate yourself. This YouTube channel is a giant body of work that I've been tracking for many years, right? You can learn from all of my experiences literally for free. It's everything that I've ever gone through that will save you from making those mistakes and that will set you up correctly. You can check out my course at powerhost.club. I have a course available. I am doing a promo code, which you can find down below. This is only going to be available for this week, so check that out as well. Not only that, there's a few other things that I think are really going for 2022 for the Turo marketplace. Another thing being that Turo is still set to go public. And when they do eventually go public, we've all been waiting for this, I think that's going to bring them a huge cash infusion, which means they'll probably turn around and spend a lot of money on marketing and advertising, again, putting so much awareness to the Turo marketplace. I think also that your traditional car rental companies, their fleets still haven't fully recovered because of the supply chain issues that they experience. So they're still really operating off of a lot of these older used cars that are high mileage, and it's not the business that it once was prior to 2020. So I think that is also working in favor of the Turo marketplace as a whole, because again, like I said, fellow hosts are adding new cars, they're refreshing their fleets, and they're keeping it fun and exciting. And that's really what people are looking for. I mean, especially after the last 2 years that we've had, people are looking for that experience, something enjoyable, something positive on the horizon, and Turo provides that adventure and that experience. And finally, I think from everything that I've read, all the trends that I've looked at, I think we are going to see a massive travel boom in 2022, especially in the summer. We saw just the tip of the iceberg in 2021, and it was phenomenal for business. But I think we're going to see 10x that in 2022. There's still so much pent-up travel demand. So many people looking to just get out, explore, new year, just kind of refreshing yourself from all this baggage that we've had over the last 2 years. So I think it's going to be a really, really good year per my estimation of everything. And I try to do my best to research sort of all of these elements as much as I possibly can so I can bring you guys good information. So this is just the opinion of one person that's been doing this for an extremely long time. This is what I've researched, and this is kind of what I see coming to fruition, and what I see from real life examples of people that I know, people who are in my community, and I do see their sales and I see their numbers and I see their fleet sizes growing. So Turo is definitely not over. I think 2022 is going to be a fantastic year. It's going to be better, right? 2020 was rough. 2021 got progressively better. And I think 2022 is going to be exponentially better on the Turo marketplace. All right, you guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Once again, I so appreciate the entire community for being so supportive. And if you have any questions or comments or topics you want me to discuss, definitely drop me a line in the comment section below. I will be there in a few minutes after this video is posted. And if you want to check out my course, which is available at powerhost.club, the promo code is NewYear15, and you can also find that information in the description below. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you like this video, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. It's a new year, and I'm so excited to spend it with you guys and share all my experiences. Take care, everyone, and talk soon. Bye.